Many of you by now have seen the YouTube video that was posted last night sometime by Gucci Girl and Grumpy. And I didn't see it till about 4:30 or 5 this morning. Grumpy revealing that he has stage 4 kidney cancer. Now, he called me, Chris called me a number of days ago to let me know. And so we talked about it for a little bit. And so I'm glad he, put up a video. He's kind of, he doesn't seek attention. He's kind of a private guy. And so I didn't know when he might post, or even if. So I'm glad to see that he did, because I feel like I've gotten to know, I've gotten to know Chris and Diane fairly well, and over the last number of years. And I think that Chris, I know him well enough to know that he's stubborn, that he's a fighter, he's hard-headed, and it's like a bull, man. He just goes, and all those are good things, especially right now. But I also know him well enough to know that, in my opinion, he's going to need encouragement. He's going to need encouragement. So I'm calling on my fellow YouTubers here, especially, if you know Grumpy, if you know Gucci Girl and Grumpy, to post videos of encouragement, and so that he can see them. He's having surgery this morning. He's probably in surgery right now, and I think he definitely has a long haul of recovery and going through Lord willing, whatever treatments that might work for him. He's going to have to be going through those. I think he's going to need a lot of encouragement, and so let's make videos and post them, so he'll we can uplift him. One of the things he said in the video, which he did not say on the phone the other day, he ended his video, and I'm sure you noticed, with that it's uncurable. I don't know if the doctors have told him that. I don't know enough about the situation, of course. And but in my thinking, it's possible for Grumpy's mind to go there. He'll fight, but like I said, I don't know what he was told. However, I want him, maybe it's selfish of me, but I want him to do everything he can, he and Diane, for him to get through this. My brother, he had kidney cancer it has spread to a number of parts of his body. Thankfully, it's been, we're close to 5 years now, and the cancer treatments have worked. It's not advancing, and he's doing pretty good right now. And so it's like I said, I don't know the details of Grumpy's cancer, but from what he told me, it sounds very similar. Every case is going to be different. It sounds very similar to what my brother has, and he's doing well. So I'm hoping, praying that the doctors, that they can do something. There is something out there that they'll find that's going to help Grumpy. But a positive attitude, which my brother has had, is something that is essential, I think, to recover from and get through something like this. Now, Gucci Girl and Grumpy, Chris and Diane, another reason why I want YouTubers, I want us to make these videos is because they have done a lot. They've done more than their fair share, if you will, for the hiking community. You know, they've helped out a number of hikers with trail magic. I mean, they have, you know, Diane, she was a traveling nurse basically, and she would go to different parts of the country, you know, to work for however long. Well, they chose, because especially of Chris's love for the Appalachian Trail and dream to do a thru hike someday, you know, they would go, she would get jobs in these places real close to the trail, and on her off time they would go and hike the trail at the same time doing trail magic for people. And I experienced some of that trail magic. 2017, when I first went out on the trail and started in New York at the train station and hiking north, I thought I had a good I knew the chances were against me, but in my mind I was like, this is possible. I could thru hike this thing. But you know, after my back started bothering me, and so somewhere in Connecticut, they had contacted me and they said, we're in the area. I think they'd done some trail magic for maybe I don't know, you know, some other people, but they were in close to me, and they said, we want to hike in and meet up with you and hike with you for a while. And when they contacted me, I said, well, I need a ride out of here because I have to get off the trail on my back. So we make jokes. They picked me up. They hiked in. We hiked the vehicle, and you know, I joke about them kidnapping me for 2 or 3 days. I won't go through all that story now, but they just went out of there. Well, I had a couple of packages in a nearby town. They took me there. They said, we can take you to, if you want to just go get a rental car. And you know, Diane had said, you should, on your way home, you should, you know, you should vacation a little bit, see some sights or whatever. Don't just head back home. Take your time a little bit. And I had mentioned that I had always wanted to see the Gettysburg battlefield. I said, I think I can go swing by there on my way home. That would be something. They said, that's on our way home. That's, you know, where we live in Pennsylvania, you know. And I'm kind of looking doubtful at them, you know. But you know, Grumpy gets out his license. We do live in Pennsylvania. It is, trust me, it's on. And so we got a hotel room, and you know, they wouldn't let me pay for anything, meals or anything like that. We went to Gettysburg the next day, and after we toured the battlefield, you know, we got a car right there. But we, you know, it was just kind of funny. And they were just so nice and so helpful, and since then they've been so encouraging. And the two following years that I went out on the trail, you know, they wanted me to come and on my way to the trail to come stay a day or two with them, and of course the next year Grumpy and I hiked together. We started out together, and so they've just been great to me. And so they've done this a lot of things for a lot of different hikers, a lot of thru hikers. And so I just want to make sure that, you know, we throw them, you know, pass along the same kind of love toward them right now. Now, people have asked me, since I've gotten to know Grumpy, they've asked me, is he really grumpy, or is that just kind of his YouTube persona? No, I can tell you definitely, no, he is grumpy. That is definitely the right trail name for him. Now, he's a nice guy, and he'd do almost anything for you. And you know, I think he's patient in a lot of ways with people, but things grate on him. You know, they kind of disturb him a bit, and he holds his tongue. I've seen him do that, you know, and then he'll complain about it after they're gone. You know? So, but he doesn't cause a scene or anything like that. But he's definitely grumpy, and I think it's kind of funny. when we were hiking together. I had gotten off the trail. I was waiting in a hotel room for Craig, he's a great guy, Craig is. I'd met him for the first time for a few minutes before we hiked out, Grumpy and I hiked out of Duncannon, headed south. And so Craig, who lives in the area, he was wanting to meet up with us. It was a couple days later, and he was going to hike with us a little bit and visit some more. But I was already off the trail. And so he ran into Grumpy. He said, where's Uncle Paul? And so he explained to him, my calf injury had gotten worse. I couldn't hike anymore. And so I was stuck in a hotel room for 5 days. I was going to be, until my friend who lived near Harper's Ferry was going to be able to come and get me. And so Craig, he got my number, and he drove me an hour and a half back to West Virginia. And what a great guy. And while we're driving back, he tells me a story. He says, I always wondered about Grumpy, if he was really grumpy. He said, well, I witnessed it. Yes, he is definitely grumpy. So he told me a story about how they were walking along this little road. It was in town or close to town, I think. So it wasn't like a busy road. Vehicles weren't going real fast, I don't think. But they were kind of, hogging the road a little bit as they were walking side by side. And this pickup truck, that passed him, wasn't happy about it, and so the driver drove real close to him, like almost hitting him, and giving them a message. And Craig said, Grumpy just started hollering at him, cussing at him, and threatening him, and telling him to come back and wanting to fight him. So I said, yeah, things like that is when it'll come out with Grumpy, But otherwise, he's just a nice guy and everything. So, anyway. So Chris, Diane, I love you guys. I appreciate so much all that you've done for me. If there's anything that I can do for you guys, please let me know. Please let me know. Definitely, you're both in my prayers. Hang in there, Grumpy. Stay strong. Stay grumpy. Think positive thoughts, man. Stay positive and fight this thing.